Okay, Haley. So we're looking at your decal. It's not a decal. We're looking at your beer label, and first of all, um, this is a way to go about doing it for sure. If you decided that you wanted to do that, instead of having this big, huge thing hanging off the side of the file, what I would suggest you do is go in here and then go to your type and then create outlines, and that way you can eliminate that. And so your file becomes a lot more succinct and it's easier to handle, okay? The other thing I would say is that you might want to go and use the, let me just go in here with my type tool and grab Lunar Beer, copy that, paste it down here, and you might want to just go in and do this envelope distort, make with the warp, but I have to select it with my black arrow first. Envelope distort, make with the warp. This is such a subtle curve that I don't think it makes any sense. It makes it look like a mistake, okay? Now, you could do this, okay? And then when you're done with that, you can go again and go to Object, Envelope Distort, and you can expand it, which gives you just the outlines again. The other thing is that imagine that I always use this analogy of I'm taking a picture with Shaquille O'Neal, the huge basketball player, and he's this tall and I'm this tall. And then my grandmother comes along and she wants to take our photograph, and she uses the camera in landscape mode. And so all she ends up getting is Shaquille's midsection, and I'm her priority. So there I am. This is Shaquille O'Neal, and it's just not a really good photograph. So I'm always looking at the potential of filling some sort of creating a picture plane that's going to be beneficial to the subject within. And so doing some research on beer labels, you get this kind of a scenario. You can't even see it. You get ovals, you get rectangles, you get rounded rectangles. So if I did this, and I don't want any strokes on these, I could grab your lunar illustration here, which, by the way, this is a really nice moon. Grab this, cut it, and let's go put on top so that we can see it. I think it might be better over here. And if I did this, I could actually go and evolve this and have something that resembled the Earth in the foreground. Show my options and make it darker. Also, I might want to go and do a gradient from the inside out. So let's go to the gradient, drag this in here. I'm going to go in eyedropper, letter I, this golden color from your moon, drag that in here as well. Replace the white, or get rid of the black, and then do a radial. And with my gradient tool right here, I could go from the center of the moon and do one of these things. Move this on the very top, grabbing this little dot on that layer, that's where the rectangle is. I'm going to have to duplicate this. Control C, Control F, and make it just a little bit smaller, and then we'll go and grab both of these things. Control 7, clipping mask, and it didn't work. Why not? No gradient inside of it. And that seems to be on top. It should work. Control 7. Let's get rid of that for now. Let's go in here and do this. Control 7. There's what I'm looking for. Then I can go and grab this, and I can maybe go in here and do that gradient one more time. Yeah, there it is. and go from here out. And then I can click inside of this and I can move it if I want to center it. And if I do that, then I can grab our Luna beer, T, grab this, copy, paste it straight like this, move it to the very top layer again. And I think I might go all caps because then it'll stack nicely within. Or lunar, and then beer is just in white perhaps, I'm not sure. But this is me looking at beer labels for a long time. You know, you haven't been studying beer labels or illustration for all that long, so don't be too hard on yourself. I hope not. And I don't want this one to be bold. I want this to be regular. And then I'm going to go and track it out. First of all, let's center it up. Move it over here. And then maybe track it out just a bit. Okay, once you get this, you might want to go and decide that it doesn't need to be that long. You can do something like this. And then you might want to put some boundary on it. You might want to put, I don't know, a spaceship going out there. But this gives you a lot more depth of field than, because this is kind of like you're squishing that beautiful circle inside of this oval. And, you know, again, you could also do a circle within a circle, might be interesting like this. And then if you did that, you could have some sort of a ribbon or a banner across the bottom. And you can, again, go and use your envelope distort to warp it, to bend like that. Put it in the front. And it could be a different, you know, the type could be the same color that you have here. You could put some sort of, I don't know, jaggedy edge in the back. Let me show you how about that. Let's go to the star. Click once, get 3. This is how you get a perfect triangle. And then I'm going to rotate that 90 degrees. And I'm going to duplicate this. This is kind of advanced stuff, but when we get to this point, I like to show you guys this stuff because we're not going to do a lot more this quarter. So I just want to get you guys some additional stuff that you guys can use to polish what we've learned to date. You've learned plenty in this class already, and so we're just looking for you guys to polish and to get more comfortable with using these techniques. All right, so I'm going to go to my brushes, find a new brush, and I'm going for a pattern brush. Okay, before I do that, I need to drag this and drop this in. Black arrow, drag it and drop it in there, and it's going to be a pattern brush. Okay, it's going to travel left to right and add our stretch to fit, add space to fit, approximate the path. I'll do that. Keep the scale smaller because we don't want it to dominate. Let's see what that does. Say okay to this. And so now if we zoom in on this and we grab this, you can use this new tool that we just created, this new brush. And see how you can do kind of cool stuff like that. That came out a lot better than I thought it was going to. Super, super nice. Eyedropper. Oh, wow. Okay, so you have to color the stroke on this. Color the stroke. Wow, I guess you can't color the stroke unless you expand it. So if you go Object, and you go to expand, you get these again. So you deselect this, and should be able to do that. I don't know what's going on with that. That has nothing to do with this. I guess it's just because it's got to fill. We don't want to fill. What happened? Well, Control 0. There's that. And there's this. Okay, well, I guess all I'm going to do is go with my white arrow, delete this. Okay, so now I've got what I'm looking for right here. Just cut it and find a way to put it back here. And center it up if you want to. And then just go back in with another circle and drop it in there. And you can center it the way you like. And move it to the back. And then if you want, you can go and get your pen tool and do this kind of a thing to modify the shape so it doesn't protrude underneath the bottom. And you get this kind of a thing going on. This should be in the front. Okay. Oops. And it's kind of what we're looking for. You know, just explore your options now that you've got some time, because week 10 is going to be nothing new. It's just going to be modifying and seeing what we can do with what you have here. So again, this honestly should be figured out at the beginning. So in the future, we're just learning, but in the future, the design process is the most important thing. So you should spend a good amount of time on this and not try to figure it out after the fact, okay? So you should have 3 great ideas, pencil sketched out because pencil's just faster. And once you get the idea, then you execute the idea. And so let's just say this might have been the idea. Then you just go and you change and tweak minor things like type and some details, okay? So good luck.